Hello, in this demonstration I am going to show you how to manually configure TCP IP in Windows 7. Please keep in mind this is a demo environment, and if you are going to do this for real, you should obtain an actual IP address configuration from either your network administrator or an internet service provider. So in this demonstration I'm going to start by clicking on the start button and then typing in CMD, trying to get a command prompt and then hitting enter, and now I have a command prompt. From here I'm going to type in ipconfig/all. What this utility does is displays my current IP configuration. I want to document my current TCP IP configuration, which I'm obtaining from a DHCP server, and then I will statically configure that or manually configure that information. So I'm going to hit the enter key and we'll get some data here. You will see that this computer belongs to the contoso.com domain. It's an Intel network card. Here's my MAC address, the physical address, and this is very important. It's DHCP enabled because I am obtaining an IP address from a DHCP server. I'm then going to look at IPv4 address, which is 10.10.0.100. What that is the IP address that the DHCP server has assigned to me. The subnet mask is 255.0.0.0, which has also been assigned to me from a DHCP server. You can see here that the DHCP server address is 10.10.0.2, and I also have a DNS server configuration, and my DNS server is 10.10.0.2. Now there is no default gateway on this particular computer, but you'll also want to make note of what your gateway address is, because most often you are going to have that, because that's how you get to the internet to retrieve web pages. This is a lab environment, so I do not have a default gateway. I'm going to go ahead and type in ipconfig/release and hit the enter key, and what this does is releases the IP address that I have assigned to me from the DHCP server. So you will see that I no longer have any IPv4 configuration. So from this point I want to manually assign my TCP IP address. So I'm going to click on Start and go to Control Panel, and from Control Panel I want to go to Network and Internet. From Network and Internet I want to view network status and tasks. On the View Network Status and Tasks page, I'd like to change adapter settings. So I'm going to click on Change Adapter Settings. I now have my local area connection, and if I right click on local area connection, left click on properties, I now have the local area connection properties box up. From here I'm going to highlight Internet Protocol version 4 and click on the properties button. And I want to apply my manual configuration now. So I will put the bullet on use the following address, and I'm going to type in 10.10.0.100, which is what I had prior to releasing the IP address. It was obtained from a DHCP server. Now I'm going to manually set my IP address to that, and the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. There is no gateway, but I do have a preferred DNS server of 10.10.0.2. And I'll click OK, and I'll close my local area connection properties box, and I've now manually assigned my Windows 7 computer a TCP IP address. So I'll close my network connections box and go back to my command prompt, and from a command prompt I'm going to type in ipconfig/all again, and this time you'll see that it's DHCP enabled no, meaning I have manually set my IP address. The IP address is still 10.10.0.100, and DNS is still 10.10.02. It has been manually configured, so now the IP address will not change. It is going to be the same until I change it again or DHCP enable this address. Now, one thing to note, if you are using a DHCP server, make sure that you make 10.10.0.100 or whatever address you assign to your computer. Make sure you make that IP address unavailable on the DHCP server to avoid conflicting IP addresses or duplicate IP addresses. So this concludes my presentation on how to manually configure your TCP IP address in a Windows 7 operating system. This is Brickhouse Labs, and thanks for watching.